Our brains are dynamic places, constantly evolving. We used to think that we were born with a certain amount of neurons, that the number of neurons or nerve cells within our brains was fixed and never changed, with the exception that we could lose them. We used to think that our brains could only change with the degeneration of disease, a physical trauma, or maybe with what we think should be the degradation of old age. We now know differently. We now know that our brains are constantly changing with every thought we have, action we engage in, and everything that we experience. Our brains and all the neurons within them are influenced by every aspect of our lives, and that includes pregnancy. Throughout our lives, our brains go through critical periods in its development. These are times when the brain is primed, more than usual, to change, to learn, and to adapt. During these moments, neurons and their connections are changing. Sometimes the brain is creating new neurons and new connections. Sometimes neurons are increasing or decreasing in size. And at other times, the brain is pruning nerve cells in the synapses that you don't use as much or won't need. It's all part of the brain becoming more efficient. During pregnancy, we see all of the above changes occurring in the brain. Mommy brain or pregnancy brain is a real thing, but it's not a bad thing. It's actually a great thing. Mommy brain is the result of the structural and physiological changes occurring in the brain in order for expectant mothers to focus on what's most important, their baby. The primary purpose of the human brain is to enhance the survival of the individual. When a woman becomes pregnant, the primary purpose of the brain shifts to enhancing the survival of the baby. Mommy brain or pregnancy brain is about the structural and physiological changes occurring in the expectant mother's brain, allowing her to become more of an expert so that she can nurture her growing baby, identify potential threats to that baby, protect her baby at all costs, and deliver and raise a healthy baby. Mommy brain isn't a bad thing at all. It's the brain becoming more efficient and more expert in carrying out the most important job in that moment in life. It's prioritizing the baby and anything that has to do with the baby's well-being over things that aren't important in the moment. So what exactly is mommy brain or pregnancy brain? It refers to experiences that women have during pregnancy in which they are forgetful or have difficulty with focus or attention. Some study shows that as many as 80% of mothers have problems remembering things that used to come easily to them. A large amount of would-be moms say that they have problems focusing during pregnancy. But a lot of mothers also report that there are cognitive skills that they become better at, such as planning. And research shows not only improvements in decision-making, but also protective instincts. So what exactly is going on in the brains of expectant mothers? Pregnancy primes the brain for dramatic neuroplasticity in order to develop maternal behaviors that enhance the survival of the baby. One of the biggest changes we see in the brain is that parts of the brain get smaller. In a process called neural pruning, extra neurons and the connections are eliminated in order to have a brain that works more efficiently and focuses on the baby. In particular, neural pruning allows the mother to be more empathetic towards her baby and to be more sensitive to her baby's suffering. It allows a mother to be more attentive to her baby and respond quicker to her baby's needs. Another key change that occurs in the brain is the increase in size of neurons in the part of the brain called the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is a small part of the brain located at the base of the brain, which plays a role in a lot of different functions, including helping to regulate emotions, producing hormones that are important in pregnancy, like oxytocin, which helps in childbirth, lactation, and increases the bond between mother and child. The hypothalamus also receives information directly from our senses, including smell, taste, and vision. Increase in the size of neurons in this region makes pregnant women more sensitive to smell and taste. It's likely that from an evolutionary perspective, that it minimizes the baby's exposure to poisons. But today, there isn't a mother who doesn't love the smell of her newborn or staring at her child. During pregnancy, we also see that the amygdala gets smaller. The amygdala is a part of the brain responsible for fear and the decisions made in response to fear. Expectant mothers are less likely to be fearful. They become extra sensitive to anything that may harm their baby and more likely to confront the threat in order to save their baby's life. Have you ever wondered why, despite morning sickness, mood swings, stretch marks, and labor pains that are associated with pregnancy, Why is it that women don't just refuse to get pregnant or stop after one child? Well, if I told you that women's brains were motivating them to continue to get pregnant, would you believe me? From an evolutionary perspective, it allows for the propagation of our human species. During pregnancy, there are changes that occur in the reward and motivation networks in the brain. It's the same system involved in addiction. Despite the signs and symptoms of pregnancy that I mentioned above, being a mother and being pregnant can be incredibly rewarding. The changes that occur in the brain allow pregnant women to focus on the rewards of motherhood, which motivates them to want to have more children. The brain of expectant mothers also sees changes in the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for short-term memory. All of these changes lead to a brain that is particularly well adapted to take care of a baby only like a mother can. Mommy, or pregnancy brain, doesn't make a woman less intelligent. It actually turns her into an expert. It increases her skills so that she can do what's most important: take care of her child. An expectant mother's brain allows her to be connected and in tune, not just with her baby, but to naturally know what things can harm her child and how to avoid them. Mommy brain is an evolutionary adaptation that allows the brain to change during pregnancy, during this critical moment in the woman's life and in the baby's life. Mommy, or pregnancy brain, is the reason that so many babies survive and thrive in the prenatal period and after birth. Embrace your mommy brain. Embrace your expert brain. It's a beautiful adaptation of who you are becoming.